I got an email actually about my attendance, which is really frustrating. I've just arrived to my GP placement. This is why I like spending money. This doctor that we were shadowing was really knowledgeable. Like, he was giving us a lot of interactive questions. It is a beautiful day and a beautiful way to start a brand new week. Life's essentials. So first thing today I've got is consultation skills, and I'm really excited about that. But today we're actually going to be doing our first neurological examination of year 2. So that's fun, and I'm doing a little bit of pre-reading just before, just to make sure I know exactly what's what with my porridge. And so I am back from a morning full of university. So we started with the consultation skills, which was actually really fun today because it was neurological examinations. So we did things like testing the reflexes, sensation, tone, and tremors. So that was pretty cool. It was only the upper limb today, but then I had a PBL session, the PBL case closed for the hearing, which was last week's case number 4. It was all about otitis media and different kinds of deafness. So I had a lot of interest in that, considering I am actually deaf. And now that is it for Monday. Like, I've basically just got a full day off to catch up with things. I'm gonna eat lunch, go swimming tonight, and yeah, just get into the things that need doing and finish off last week's case number 4. Ready for case number 5 tomorrow. In the conductive pathway, this one. What tests in the clinical environment can differentiate? And so I've just been writing more notes and actually using my microphone as a dictator rather than typing, because my touch typing is not very fast and efficient. And I've been finding it really useful with this accessory, this microphone arm. I love it, and this is why I like spending money, like upgrading my desk setup, because having all these different little things makes me far more productive. Like, you know, having these hue lights as well, which I can change the color of, it just makes working here a much more enjoyable experience. Anyway, it is 10 to 8, which means it is time for swimming training. Let's go. And good afternoon. It is Tuesday at 1:37, and this morning I had my PBL case open, which was good fun because we were learning about stroke. That's this week's case. It's about the different kinds of stroke and some of the different management and just basically everything to do with stroke. Really, really interesting. And today it's exciting because in 20 minutes I've actually got my first GP placement of year 2. So I'm gonna have this bagel that I'm making right now. Mackerel bagel with some egg. I'm actually in a real rush. I'm gonna eat this as quick as possible and then get off to this GP placement, which is fortunately very, very close to where I live. All right, so I've just arrived to my GP placement. I've chained my bike up, and I'll speak to you guys after the placement. Really excited for it. Wow, and I have just got back from my GP placement, and that was a lot of fun. I know I say this after every GP placement, but I really did enjoy this one. There was about 12 different patients, 7 or 8 of them were on the phone, and a few of them were in person. And this doctor that we were shadowing was really knowledgeable. Like, he was giving us a lot of like interactive questions. So each consultation afterwards, he'd ask us, you know, why we think this, what these signs would indicate. Really, really good. And it was also really cool that a few of the patients actually had different ear problems, and that was last week's case, so it was really fresh on our mind. And just to see them in practice, it was like, yeah, I know what that is, I know what this is. So yeah, really wicked GP placement today. It was a 3-hour one. It was nonetheless very interesting. I really enjoy these GP placements. Yeah, great fun. And now to actually do some work with the rest of my day. Where the GP is not able to assess the rash. What is Sterimar salt water? So I have quite literally for the last 2 hours just been doing this PPD write-up of some of the patients that I've been seeing today. This year's PPD we are expected to actually write up all of our patient encounters, but considering I saw like 12 people today and it takes me at least 25 minutes to write up each patient encounter, it just doesn't make sense to do that. Like, medicine is all about being selective of, you know, what you do revise and balancing everything so that you get through sufficient amount of the content to, you know, pass essentially, right? And it just doesn't make sense for me to be spending hours all night tonight writing up all of these patients, when in reality I should be prioritizing my time towards understanding the physiology of this week's case, which is on stroke. So I am gonna call it quits there with those 5 patients that I've written about today. I just think that's more realistic and fair enough, because I've actually found a lot of benefit in that. And also using this microphone has been really helpful because it's sped up the process massively by just using dictation and speaking to the Siri thing, and instead of having to type it all out. But it's actually been really helpful learning about some of these things that I've come across today, such as the glass test. I noticed on all of the phone consultations, if any child presented with any kind of rash, the GP would always ask about the glass test. Have you performed it? When you put a clear glass on the rash, does the rash disappear? Because if it does disappear, then the rash is potentially nothing to worry about. But if the rash stays following putting a clear glass on the rash, that could indicate meningitis or a meningococcal sepsis. So that's a really, really serious thing. And it was just really interesting to know that that came up many times whenever there was a rash presented. So yeah, really enjoyed today's clinical experiences. And yeah, sitting in with the patients. This has been a fun task, but it is time to now just finish today by just studying this week's case and organising this week's timetable. See you tomorrow. And good afternoon. It is Wednesday, very incredibly unproductive morning. I've woken up, had coffees, and basically just replied to emails, do some online shopping, bought a new light for my living room, and basically I've just put together my checklist for this week on stroke and built my timetable on Excel for the things that I need to do each day to cover everything for this week's case. Lots to do, but in 5 minutes time, I'm going swimming, so catch you after that. Good start. Back to revision. And so, swimming was very good as per usual. I was just watching through some of the lecture series on this week's case, which is what I'm doing right now whilst eating. But all afternoon I've basically just done loads of anatomy. And there's a lot of anatomy because it's all the cranial nerves, and that is really quite extensive. So that's where I'm starting. I'm getting all these anatomy notes done with this absolutely delicious salmon teriyaki thing that I tend to put together. It's becoming my new weekly favourite. Productive day, relatively productive day. I tell you what, some of these rules at university just seriously do my head in. Like, the fact that you can turn up 20 seconds late to an hour-long session, and because you're 20 seconds late, you get an absent marking. So it indicates on your records that you are not actually there. And some of these sessions you are able to attend, but like that one, for example, with it being a practical session, which is really important, I'm not able to attend. I literally watched them close the door. And she said, oh, no, but the session started now. I'm sorry, I can't let you in, health and safety. So now, that impacts on my learning because I'm 10 seconds late, 15 seconds late, and I can't go into the session. It even said 9 o'clock on my phone. I showed her the phone. What a wasted morning. That is quite literally the worst way to start off your day. Like, I'm so bothered by that. I never complain. I never, say bad things or comments about, the system or whatever else. But this is just one thing that I find really, really annoying and ridiculous. The fact that when you're late, like within a minute, you're not allowed to attend sessions. It's like they're working against you. It's like there's no grace period, which is just unrealistic in any part of the world. Go to a GP practice, patients have a 15-minute grace period, you know what I mean? But then the fact that a late marking is not a late marking, it's an absent marking. Many of these sessions you can actually attend if you're 10 seconds late, 15 minutes late, 2 minutes late, you can attend them. But it goes down as an absent marking. So you're filling it out on your records, oh, you were absent, why are you missing all these sessions? No, I wasn't absent, I was there. It just defeats the point for me. It just seems like a very strange, peculiar way of doing things. I don't know if this is the same thing at every other university, please let me know. But I know at my university, if you're 10 seconds late, you get an absent marking. But today, obviously, I wasn't able to attend it, and that's just really bothered me. Not just because it's 9 AM and I had to wake up early for it and I've got no other sessions until 1 PM. Well, I can at least catch up on some work and do some notes, so. Okay, so despite missing this morning's Fizz Farm session, I've had a pretty productive morning into the afternoon. I've done about 2 hours of work doing some anatomy on Ninja Nerd, but also I did actually look at Geeky Medics on YouTube for their cranial nerve assessment. So essentially I've not really missed out on what I missed out on this morning's Fizz Farm, because that's what they were doing. And Geeky Medics had some really great videos, as did some other great YouTube channels showing the cranial nerve assessments that you can do in a clinic. So I'm feeling happy about that. But in 15 minutes, I've got my anatomy tutorial and I'm not gonna be late for that. I'm setting off now. See you later. Voila. New light day. Hue lights, ambient. That is very sick. Love the vibe that this is going to create now in my living room. Nice. And so since Matt is actually moving out in a couple months, I've just come to view one of the one beds here at Vita as an option. It's nice, but about £400 more expensive each month, just for the luxury of living alone. Right, so in terms of work, I've done absolutely nothing for this last few hours because I've been busy trying to deal with Reels and uploading a new video to this channel, actually. But I have got to go to work now, so yeah, DJing for the rest of the evening. And I will catch you guys maybe tomorrow. See you then. Good morning, it is Friday, and this morning I've pretty much just been editing some videos on YouTube, just amending them, just to make sure that certain sections are blurred and whatever else. I've got a massive busy day ahead. It's 1:45 and obviously I've done no work, which is just really bad because, just got an email about the mid-semester test that we've got to sit next week through cases 1 and 5. Just don't feel anywhere near as prepared as I was for the first semester and second semester in first year. But I got an email actually about my attendance, which is really frustrating because my attendance has actually been nearly 100%. I've only missed 2 sessions this entire year. But weirdly, the university want to combine lateness with absence, and that affects your attendance. I find that very strange. I think if you're late, that indicates something completely different as to someone being absent. Absent would indicate a lack of commitment to the course, whereas, lateness would indicate maybe an organisation issue. And, I have been late a few times, and that has resulted in me having an attendance which seems to be pretty low. And obviously yesterday I was within a minute of arriving, and I wasn't allowed into my session. So now I was absent for that session. But anyway, annoyingly, today as well, I'm going to miss a dissecting room practical, which is really annoying because that starts at 4 p.m. till 5, and I've got a train to catch at 3:30 to get to London for a DJing gig. So that has bothered me, that I am going to be absent for that. Yeah, I really need to start arriving early to these sessions because this can't go on. But I'm going to try and get an hour's work in now before I start packing to go to London, because I've got one DJ gig tonight in London, a DJ gig in London tomorrow from 12 till 4 p.m. And then at 4 p.m. I need to get a train back to Manchester because I've got a DJ gig from 7 till 10 tomorrow night, and then another DJ gig from 10:30 till 1:30 a.m. on Saturday night here in Manchester. So less than 24 hours in London, massively busy weekend ahead. Let's get to work. Another day. Let's do it. Wow, so yesterday was a really long day. I managed to get some work done on the train. I did sit in standard premium, so it did make my life a little bit more comfortable when it came to getting things done. But then had some dinner at Nando's and then some DJing at Aqua. But now I'm back to Aqua from 12 till 4, and then I've got to get a train up to Manchester for a DJ gig from 7 till 10, and then another DJ gig from 10:30 till 2. Massive Saturday. There you guys have it. That is the end of an absolutely crazy weekend and week at med school. Wow, yesterday, Saturday, and this weekend in general, Friday night, all Saturday, DJing those 3 gigs, and last night at Firefly and Restaurant Yours, it was just crazy. So busy, and to be honest, really exhausting. I feel like today it's Sunday and I just feel pretty worn out. I feel really behind on my work. I'm so behind and I don't feel good about it, and to be honest I need to really reconsider how much I'm working, because there's only so many hours in a day, and I feel like I really need to be prioritizing what is the most important thing right now, and that is of course medicine. So with that being said, that is the end of this week. I hope you have enjoyed this one. Make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification button so you get notified for the weekly uploads, and also check out these other videos and this playlist right here with a lot more from me. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.